Gordon Klinger Schmidt. He is the, I shit you not, Colorado state representative who got elected. He does a show, a regular show on YouTube, and he's a former Navy chaplain. And he was commenting on a Fox News poll that showed 58% of the respondents wanted to repeal Obamacare, and this was reported by Right Wing Watch. And he said,
we ought to look to the Lord for our health care. He said that if you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do what is right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands and keep all of his decrees, then God will not bring upon you any of the diseases that he brought upon the Egyptians. For I am the Lord who heals you. Isn't that inspiring? I mean, I personally prefer to look to Almighty God as my healer and not to the government as a substitute God or a substitute healer.
bitch, then why the hell are you a state representative? Why are you in government if you hate it so much? That's what I got for you. Why are you in government getting a paycheck by the people, for the people, and all that nonsense? Why are you a state representative? You fucking hypocrite. By the way, first F-bomb dropped by me. Haven, take it away.
It kind of irks me that he's a Navy chaplain because it just makes my Navy look like shit, and I don't appreciate that. But, I mean, of course, the best way to destroy something is to be the parasite that goes into it and infects it and sucks it dry. So I think that that's kind of been the MO and the mode of operations for a lot of right-wing Christians. They didn't get the attention that they wanted when they were, you know, freely pushing their political agenda at the pulpit, even though they needed to be taxed for that. So they decided that they're going to get into our system and pump this kind of bullshit. I don't have a problem with people being Christian. I don't have a problem with you having a religious belief. Whatever, do what you got to do. I do have a problem with being an American citizen, knowing that there's supposed to be a separation between church and state, and here you are pumping your beliefs, which I guarantee you, especially in Colorado, not all of your constituents follow what you subscribe to. So if it doesn't sound like something you could tell everybody, you should probably keep that shit to your fucking self. Because I'm pretty sure that there are scientists in Colorado, there are, you know, Muslims in Colorado, there are Buddhists in Colorado, there are potheads in Colorado who probably don't even see the world any way that you think. And that's just so aggravating and so pretentious to think that you can get into government and shove what you believe down other people's throats. And God forbid anybody give you a little taste, just a little taste of what you do to other people. Then it's freak out and there's war on Christians and all this other crap. It's disgusting, and I wish like hell he didn't serve in the U.S. Navy.
To be clear, I misspoke. It was former Navy chaplain. He actually got kicked out because of his right-winger views. So there's that goal for you there, Haven. And I hear you on that. They do that, and they go into government to break it apart and then say, see, it doesn't work. I'm making my point for me.
Let me just say, if he was quoting Exodus, not like a Bible historian, but wasn't Exodus when Moses was taking the Jews out of Egypt? So if God was speaking to Moses, because that's who he was talking to, and he said, follow me and I won't put the plagues, he was only speaking to the Jews. I'm sorry, Christians. Hate to put that little piece of knowledge, like if you've never heard that, I feel really bad for you. But Exodus is just the Jews leaving Egypt. So therefore, anything that God said to Moses to say to the Jews was meant for the Jews, not the Christians, because there were no Christians at the time. Does that make a little bit of sense? Like, maybe the reason that we have vaccines is because God was answering somebody's prayer and was like, hey, you're not even going to get sick now. Take this, bro. You'll be okay.
Well, that's like, you're right, Lucy, and that's like the story of, I tell this story on Some Say with Tom and Nikki often enough, or maybe not enough sometimes, where we're talking about God, and God was like, this guy's on the roof, or he starts out in the house, right? And he sees the rain coming. The cop goes by and says, "I'm gonna get you out of here." No, I'm waiting for a sign from God. I'm not going yet. And then he goes up to it goes incrementally up to the roof, and then the guy dies, and he goes to God. He's like, "Well, why didn't you get me out?" He's like, "I gave you the cop. I gave you the guy with the boat. I gave you all these signs. It's not my fault you didn't get to deal with any of them." So, Lucy, you're exactly right. People need to realize that sometimes God comes in the form of a human, aka Jesus Christ, if you believe, or whichever. If you don't, more power to you. I don't doesn't draw any blood from me either way. But people are to get so irrational talking about this stuff, and this guy is the most irrational of all when it comes to this rhetoric. And Haven, go ahead if you want to close on this real quick.
But, I mean, this guy's also full of shit, because let there be a case where a family member decided to pray for their child's cancer to go away rather than go and send them to medical treatment, that those parents are going to go on trial for child neglect and abuse. So it's like, you don't really believe that. Christians don't really believe that, because if there were Christians on that trial for a mother who decided, hey, I wanted to just pray that my child would live forever instead of feeding them, they would not be like, you know what, God said that she can do this, so we're just going to roll with that. Like, nobody thinks like that. So it's like, even this is just probably disingenuous bullshit just to rile up the crazy people who are the only ones that go out and vote these days. And it's like, it's just so seedy and like slimy. Like, he's a fucking salamander just slithering through government.